Hey everybody, welcome to the Forge and Narrative Monday Night Webcast. This is Labor Day. I think I got it right. I think it's about the right day.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us. It's just me and Justin tonight. Schedules around the holidays get hectic. Just going to try to hold it down. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I'll get some names here in just a couple of minutes. I just got back from several hours ago at this point from Dragon Con down here in Atlanta. That is an awesome time. I posted up there were more 40K cosplayers than I ran into, but I definitely took pictures of the ones that I ran into. And I posted those up on the Forge Narrative Facebook. Please check it out there. I saw several people carrying around like their props. They had a couple of Eldar spears, but I didn't see them in costume.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, at least it's becoming a little bit more wide,
there's always those kind of costumes, but I will say though, I saw less than I have in previous years, but that could just be because a lot goes into these costumes, and there are kind of peaks and valleys, and when you'll see them, and takes a bunch of time.
That dude that was dressed up like Yarick, man, that guy looked awesome.
It was there were some really good ones there. Ran into some people. I don't want to necessarily call them out, but I took a picture and put them online, so anyway, you can see them. It was a really good weekend. I'm tired. I shouldn't say I'm drained. There's just you're going 24 hours a day. I did take my kids down there, which was fun. My oldest and I piloted. We did all those Mech Warrior pods from the 90s. They hold up. Still very fun. Have all the new mechs, or all the mechs that I'm aware of in the game, and played maybe 10, 15 games of that with my youngest subbing out between me and the oldest in the pods playing.
That was pretty cool, man.
I couldn't crack first place. I only play one time a year, and there are some people that don't. They play that game like we play 40K.
A little bit more of a religious following to it. But I understand. I had a very good time doing it, but I couldn't crack couldn't crack first place. I always came in second or third that area because I couldn't get in. I couldn't get in through the professionals, but I respect them. They were definitely nice.
Doing it to it.
That's sweet though, man. Like I've always been interested in stuff like that. I don't fit. You know what I mean? Like kind of a tight spot for me.
I could see that.
Yeah. Kind of not fair, but I'll live vicariously through you.
It's fun. You get to play they've got the standard mechs that you choose from, and they suggest you pick one of these that are kind of middle of the road at everything. I picked a couple of the heavier, slower mechs and just ended up just wrecking face with them.
Oh yeah. It's always fun to just sit there and just lay waste. Volleys just.
Yeah, it was good times. See what else happened. There was a big open gaming area. There was some 40K going on in the open gaming.
Oh, nice.
Yep. I don't know if there was any kind of tournaments going on. I am not on top of the 40K tournament scene at Dragon Con because it's typically not run. I don't know who goes to those.
Yeah.
To be honest, but
yeah, well, that's it. It's kind of not its thing. It's a little bit of a different kind of a convention. So it makes sense.
Not at all. Let's see what else. There was some magic going on. Open game was huge. Mm-hmm. There was even I saw this in the circular. There was a 40K one-day live action game that went down.
What? Like 40K LARPing?
Yeah, 40K. It was all probably like a text-based. You walk, and in those con games, you typically kind of walk around and you'll encounter other people in there, and then you interact with them. And there's rules for engagement and that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
I did not play in it again because I just
you let me down.
I'm terrible at burning a whole day on any one thing at these conventions.
Yeah, you want to take in the whole thing, and then you have the kids, so they're probably wanting to go 14 different directions, and you're wanting to go 14 other different directions.
Yeah, the vendor halls were awesome. Very good, all kind of neat things. I resisted the urge to. There's one booth there that has pretty much all the board games and all the Steve Jackson games and everything you can imagine. They had Cthulhu Wars there, the Kickstarter that just went, Cthulhu Wars, and
that's so awesome.
It was all I could do to resist buying it. Absolutely all. I want that game so bad. It's like Risk on the next level with all the Cthulhu factions.
Yeah, I read a couple articles about people that were doing some of the play testing or whatever with I believe it was the beta rules at the time, and everybody, they just talk so highly of it. And me, like, I love board games, so I'm definitely going to be looking into getting it.
Yeah, they had it for $200, and I don't know if that's a good price or not, but it seems like it was right there.
That's steep, but I mean, if it's engaging and if it's got the replayability,
all the models look amazing too. I mean, it's got a bunch of original sculpts for the game, and it looks really cool.
Well, yeah, you get models, so hey, man.
Well, let's kind of jump into the 40K. We've had some people register for Warzone Atlanta. It is, I don't want to say it's necessarily filling up fast just yet, but we've had more than a couple of handfuls of people sign up so far. But please get your tickets as soon as possible, and your hotel rooms if you need them. When you register, please let us know you're coming. I definitely want to hear about it. Let me know what kind of list you're taking and stuff, man. It's going to be an awesome time. I can't talk enough good stuff about it, and I'm happy to see we got a bunch of people coming so far.
Yeah, man. And for everybody that has, like Paul said, hit us up with your list and stuff like that. And if you have any questions about your list, and also too for us, we can do some databasing. Basically, we can get an idea of what the scene's going to look like and stuff like that. So
yeah, it'd be fun to talk about, see how it specs out. Steve Booey's got a question here. It says, can I give a Sanct Priest the Angel's Wing and Valor's Edge for relics of the deck says the model may replace? He goes on to explain the rule. Yes, you can. I believe you can put the and I think the only thing it says in relics, now I think there's a little bit of different wording in some of the dexes, and I'll bring it up here in a second. But with two people, it's going to be kind of hard to search rules because we got to keep talking essentially. But I believe you can have both the wings and the Valor's Edge, which I really like the Valor's Edge, by the way. I modeled my dude with it, even though I only take it about 50% of the time. But I believe the answer is yes.
Yeah, I would try to get my book, but it's under a mountain. And
Steve Williams coming in from Oz, man. Good to see you. Archon of Chaos is saying when we're going to release the missions for Warzone Atlanta, they will be up very soon. They were supposed to be up this past weekend, but I will say with the convention coming around, I did not have enough time to dive into them. I'm actually going to let Kelly Wallace, who's been on the show, have some input into that and the missions, and I want to make sure that it's done at a time when he can sync up and give his opinion as well. It will be done incredibly soon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, keep in mind for all the listeners, it's going to keep in the theme of the original Forge a Narrative mission pack. So you don't have to worry about that. It's not going to be like something crazy and out of wild, but they're going to be original and they're going to be fresh. Yeah,
what you mean by that, hopefully, is that any army that you want to take that has a competitive build to it, not that you don't necessarily have to build a Super Friends list. And I'll talk about what Super Friends are in a minute since we haven't talked about them. You don't have to build what others may consider a top tier list. They will be functional for all lists, absolutely all list builds.
Yeah,
but you have to have pieces that work well together. But it's a good question.
Yeah, that was a common misconception of what I had said before was, every list does have a puncher's chance. Every well-built list has a puncher's chance. Don't read into that too much. I know somebody was, they hit me up on my personal and they were like, hey man, this list right here, I think I got a chance. And I'd be like, well, you don't have an answer to this and you don't have an answer to that. And he legitimately quoted me. He's like, well, you said every list has a punch.
You said I can say whatever I want. So.
Yeah. And I was like, no, that's not what I meant.
I think you can. I think you can take mostly whatever you want. But what Troop is saying is if you don't commit to, let's say, the shooting phase, make sure that you can make sure you got some anti-air in there. Because if you don't have any assault, you might want to make sure that you've got some kind of plan, some synergy. The list has to have synergy, and you should do just fine.
Yeah, build a competitive list, but build it how you want.
Yep. And so those are some of the questions that we're getting about, what's the Army comp, which that should be published. The Army comp is 7th edition Army comp, with the exception of one monstrous creature or super heavy Lord of War and one knight detachment.
Yeah, caveats the knight detachment. So if you want to bring 5 knights, you can bring 5 knights. If you want to bring Adlance and then a cat of something, then you can still do that.
Yeah, and I want to talk about some hate mail that we got.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will also bring this up on the podcast just so I can address it in full depth because I don't want to spend too much time or whatever. But this dude who went through he went through the trouble of creating a fake account proxied through an IP address. Now, look, I don't check any of that. I don't care. I don't check any of that. I could just recognize it as being fake. Let's just say it came off with a New Zealand location, but with a very southern slant to his email. Well, and I recognize southern, all right? But the long and the short of it is that he said that the Warzone Atlanta restrictions are based on the fact that I personally got beat at the ATC.
Oh, that is so far from the truth.
That is, I mean, number one, I don't have really anything to do with the composition and stuff of how things go down at the ATC. So that has nothing to do with me. But let me also say that I support what they did because in the team environment and that specific type of team environment where you have a list matching phase, I let me look at it directly, 100% support their choices in doing that. Yeah. Absolutely. What we've gone over in a singles event is because that list is not going to win a 5-round grand tournament. The only thing that does is it creates a bad experience for the people that are in the mid to lower brackets, rankings, tables, or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
There's a very select few builds that are a hard counter to the multiple whatevers, multiple Wraith Knights, multiple whatevers. And the thing is it won't compete point-wise. It won't compete enough to take you to the top tables. So now you got these dudes that are there having fun, having to go against this douchey
knowing that they're not going to win the tournament probably, or not get to win the overall at the tournament.
Yeah.
Because they had a bad game in round 2 or 3 or whatever, and then they just get a little insult to injury dealing with this list that is just, it's unfair at that level.
Yeah. It's not making for a good overall theme and overall feel of the event.
Yeah, and Coach, thanks for chiming in. Let me just say, dude got real. He tried to make it very, very personal at the same time hiding his identity. And you guys know that's not how we work. You got something to say? Just say it, man. We're the crew that cares about your feedback.
Right.
Yeah, like there's nobody who's ever given me any impression or idea or input about how they felt about the show or some of the things that we're doing that's ever been met with any hostility. There's never come back with a vengeance, or whatever.
If you don't like what we're doing, I mean, there's a lot of different things that, can go about it. If there's something about the show you don't like, hit us with it. We might not be knowing what we're doing. We could be
to try to link. Yeah. To try to link performance at the tournament at a team event to how I feel about things for a singles event is, they couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, it really is a situation to where like it's two different animals.
Yeah, the formats are completely different. Like you said, with ATC, you're able to pick who goes against that list. It's just there's so many variables. Like in a singles event, it's just not going to be a good time for
you know who fought all the 5 Wraith Knight lists that we came out. I did, and I didn't mind doing it. And I fought against good people. Like I can promise you that I didn't encounter this guy. I don't think I encountered. I mean, I don't know. I said he came up with a fake name and a fake address and everything else just to get this axe off his, grind this axe or whatever. Like, dude, freaking hit us up on the Facebook or send a message in the comments here or an email. My email is on the podcast. It's in. I send an email through, or just leave a crappy review in iTunes, and move on with your life.
Yeah, 1 star won't kill us.
I know. But yeah, Coach, you got 20 haters, got to figure out how to get 20 more. Yeah, that's right. I mean, Cat Williams might as well be from his lips to our ears.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like what we do, man. We reach a very large audience. We know that we don't speak to everybody, and everything that we say and do, it's not going to appeal to everybody. What we're trying to do, though, is we're making an event that can appeal to the majority. That's what you got to take into consideration.
By trying to say it was some kind of personal. Like, how on earth Like, what do you get? Because he referenced that he listens to the show and stuff, which I really appreciate. But like, you're not actually hearing what we're saying if you think that there's any agenda in anything we've ever done outside of just having fun. Like, we don't have a subscription service. We don't have anything. We don't have anything other than just delivering how we feel about this hobby. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't have said it any better. We're not charging you.
Well, so I mean, there's no agenda other than just, anyway, if you have an agenda or you have an opinion on some of the things, I'm not the kind of guy you got to hide from. You could just come tell me. There's no forged narrative police that are going to kick down your door.
Yeah, and even to clarify some more, if he's angry that let's just theorize real quick. He wants to bring 5 Wraith Knights, right?
I don't know.
And you're angry. Say, theoretically here.
Yeah.
He's angry that he can't bring 5 Wraith Knights. Buddy, I'm with you. I'm against the ban. My exact words on the argument were, name one event 5 Wraith Knights won. I don't care. Let them come.
Right.
But in the theme of making an enjoyable environment, I understand that possibly having to take that out of the equation is going to make the whole day, 2 days, 3 days, whatever that event's going to be, it's going to make it better for everybody. And if you really want to play 5 Wraith Knights, like if it's like burning you that hard in your soul,
come bring it up. Yeah, bring it. I'll play you. I think the guys in Georgia, I'll be happy to play it. Just hang out.
All 5 rounds. I'll play.
Yeah, I don't care. It's fun. Anyway, enough about that. Completely enough about that. I will talk about it on the show though, since we got a little bit of a wider audience. But it was like, dude, why are you going through all this trouble? Just like tell me how you feel. Whatever.
We're all grown men.
Yeah. How awesome is it? Super Friends won Nova.
Yeah, both aspects of Nova, invitational and open.
Yeah, and Super Friends had a long and storied history. When we created it originally, the powers that be in the Warhammer world wanted to write it off, saying it'll never work. All right, it has been consistently performing, and with each new Imperial release, it has a possibility of getting stronger. Yeah. And now with the Dark, which you guys know, the Dark Angels we talked about on the show, I'm building them, that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, that's where it's at for this, and you can read the meta, and I think some choices in that list, which it should be available online right now. I think it's up on Bowls, and it's probably on DACA at this point as well. There some choices in there were specifically for that meta for Nova, I think. Mm-hmm. But the core is exactly what we preach on the show as a very strong and competitive list.
Yeah, and what's nice about Super Friends is it's evolved so heavily. And people look at it and they're like, oh, it's the same list. No, it is completely different, but it still performs the same way. Top tables, it's wreck and face, it's in your face, it does its Voltrons, and it does what it needs to do when it needs to do it. And that's the best thing about it. Like, it's completely different. Like, there's nothing about Super Friends version 7.9 that we're in right now.
Yeah, something. I'd say a good solid version 3 something.
Oh yeah, because now with the Dark Angels, like you're saying, you got the Dark Angels, you still got those Iron Priests. Those are going to be clutch for a long time. We traded out the Rune Priest for Iron Priest. That's kind of like what changed a little bit.
And Barrett Musselman's got a real good question. He's like, with the dominance of Death Stars at Nova, with their restrictions, do you think that supports the need for super heavies, D weapons, and such in the game today? I really do. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big fan of the D6, like where you 6 things out. Like, it's just not. That's not a good rule. But the need for that type of thing helps create a wider range of what can compete at the top tables.
I like what the D weapons are now. When D first came out with was escalation and stuff like that, when it was just like and it gone, like that wasn't fun. It's a little bit more manageable because you get to interact with it now, except on a 6.
If just somebody's just rolling hot, there's just nothing you can do. And it only takes one hot roll to really lopside a game. And I don't mean like a series of dice. I mean, you just roll you roll that 6.
I could take out a clutch person like a Drago, like gone. Yeah. And that's a huge linchpin to an army. So,
yeah, I think that's why I'm not more of a proponent of that. But I still play against it. I mean, it's just. I don't think it's great. I'd love to see a change to that we could all get behind. I'd love to see the game itself come out with something like a one-pager on these are the amendments we would make to the rule book to make it in a tournament setting.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be great.
We're not going to get it.
No, never.
Yeah. Anyway.
But
I'm really happy to see all. I can't wait to get more. We're gonna more list and stories from Nova. It's obviously a giant tournament, and if Dragon Con was not this weekend, I'd have gone myself.
Yes.
Yeah. I wish they would. I know they can't. I know that there's no way they can move it to a different weekend for various reasons. That sucks for me. It's great for you guys.
Yeah, I wanted to, but I didn't want to go alone. So I knew if I would have went, like I had plenty of friends up there, but I just didn't want to make the drive.
Justin, it is. It's like there'll be people. There's now with the community of the show and others like it. Then you just know you always know somebody.
It wasn't getting. It was getting there alone. That was kind of driving me nuts. Not like once I got there, I knew like I got pajama pants. I could go hang out with Frankie, like the Evan. Yeah, there's tons of people there that I could go hang out with. It was just like, do I really want to drive all the way to DC by myself?
Yeah. We got asked before the show to explain some of the nicknames that we give to List. And, it's really, I will start with Super Friends. Super Friends is basically a collection of very powerful Space Marine characters, ideally with 2+ saves, with an invulnerable save, that can join into either form a unit on their own or attach to a unit that somehow gives them advantages, like a command squad, a Marine command squad on bikes for an apothecary, a Raven Wing command squad for also the apothecary and with the rules the Raven Wing give, or if you just go with Thunderwolves, to give a bunch of other 2-wound guys with strength 10 and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can take it, but that's what makes up a Super Friends list is 4 or more independent units that all come together to form a Death Star with a giant footprint that is typically capable of multi-charging everything you have on turn 2 and Voltroning out, and I'll explain what Voltroning is at a later turn.
Yeah, I mean the thing about it is you want survivability. So putting them on bikes, putting them on Thunderwolves, putting them on these things, increasing their toughness and strength for the Thunderwolves case. Getting the Feel No Pain in there that's just an extra layer of defense. You want that 2 up because you're only going to be rolling 1s to die. Like that's how often do we roll 1s? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I roll them all the time.
Well. Only when charging.
Yeah.
And then, throw in those invulns and stuff like that. And there's wound tricks that you get to play with this too. These guys are characters. So you look out certain a 2+ to a 2+. And I mean, there's all kinds of different things that make it defensively a Death Star. But then, Paul was mentioning the strength 10 AP1, that's coming out of your Iron Priest. That's coming out of your Thunderwolves. If they got fists, it's hardy. Like that's the best word for it. It's a hardy.
When you charge, you make things happen. You get results.
Yeah, stuff goes away.
You want if punching things in the face is your jam, then that's the way to go.
You're speaking to my heart, Paul Murphy.
Yeah. And Dream Crusher the other way. Dream Crusher, what is referred to as that Blood Angel list that can pull off the charge out of assault with 3 Storm Ravens and 30 TAC Marines plus whatever else you can put in there. Mm-hmm. Now. It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek we're referred to as Dream Crusher because it's a very difficult list to pull off. In an 1850 event, it's very difficult to add enough to that list to make it durable enough, like enough bodies to both have the impact that it needs and survivability when you inevitably get kind of put out of position. Yeah. Or if you kill everything that you charge and then you have to get shot or assaulted from something else the next turn.
Yeah, you're looking at like 1,020 is like the cheapest you're going to get out of that. So that's a heavy investment.
Yeah, for 30 bodies and 3 Storm Ravens.
Yeah. So, a lot of people, they look at that and they're like, oh man, this is going to be so awesome and all this stuff. And it does come in on turn 1. That's another thing to mention. But
it takes finesse. Like I look at that army as a board control army. That's how I play it.
Yeah, you can catch people to where they don't know how to deploy against it.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be out of their comfort zone and hopefully making some like awkward decisions, and you can capitalize on that.
Yeah, because the footprint of 30 Marines and 3 Ravens is you could basically pin your opponent in his backfield and just
using the new 32 mil.
Yeah. A huge footprint, and that's going to do work.
So let's talk about Voltron for a second. We say Voltron out. I mean, it's it's just the name that stuck. That's what I called it because at the time there were 5 components, and anyway, all come together to form a giant thing, can split out into smaller things. So when we say Voltron away, that means later in the turns when there's a bunch of kind of like scraggling bits and pieces of units hanging around, or somebody's MSU or whatever, then you break apart, and your stronger things that are characters with 2+ saves or feel no pain or whatever, then get to go off and do some damage to your opponent without the protection of the unit.
Yeah, you can always charge an Iron Priest into a 5-man scout squad sitting on an objective or something like that. Like you don't have to worry about dying at that point. Odds are in your favor.
They really are. Or like if these Tech Marines with all these Thunderfire Cannon, that little mini unit inside of a Marine thing, you can charge some of these characters into those guys and have no fear of them not coming out on the other side.
Yeah. It goes to the same thing of that overwhelming firepower, right? Like I'm going to bring a freaking cannon to a water gun fight, and that's kind of when you're doing your Voltron. That's the best way to do it.
Completely agree. Just make it to where your opponent's choices don't necessarily matter too much to you, because you're able to weather them with all this armor. And that's part of our style, is basically kind of being brute force, using bully units, not being a bully, but the units themselves are the bully.
And it's a tricky list to play too. So like a lot of people that want to try Super Friends, you're going to need to play a lot of games, because the timing of the Voltron that's the most crucial part about it.
Positioning of characters too.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like within the Death Star of it. Yeah. That's why I screwed that up so bad. My first probably 15 games, I had guys like getting picked off, and I was like, oh my gosh, like why is this not working? But it will.
Built the Super Friends list, and he's like, man, he said, I think after this event, he's like, I think I'm getting better. I went 4-4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's because if people start chewing up your inner guts.
Yeah, you lose a lot of punch and a lot of just the guts. Yeah, that's the best way to say it. Yeah. Once that's out, you're done. So
Justin, good to see you. Table News, Steve Williams, Coach, was shouted out earlier, Troy. I can't even talk, Kelly K. Barrett. I know I just kind of jumped into it. I want to say Dean, Steve, and Coach. Again, don't say hey to him again. Just
yeah. That's what I like to do.
Oh, he said you should check a certain YouTube channel.
Did I win, Coach?
Maybe the Family of Gamers.
Did I win?
YouTube channel. I don't know if you won or not, but things like maybe it's a wind blowing in your direction. It's
no way.
Our man Adam on the show was actually coming in Georgia, but it's like the worst weekend to be in Georgia because I couldn't hang out with him because I'm at this convention. And you basically go down to Atlanta, you park your car at the hotel, and then you spend all day for the 4 or 5 days inside the awesomeness that is the Atlanta scene, going back and forth between several hotels that are all connected via skywalks. You never actually have to go outside unless you just want to. Justin, you don't have to check that right now. We are doing a live show.
I'm not checking that. I'm reading the things. I'm making sure there's not questions. I don't know how to read. I was looking for a question.
How about a question about what's that big cannon do from the AdMech stuff from Forge World?
Oh, yes. So I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get nobody in trouble. A good friend of the show, he sent me over this pic, and it's like a conversion beamer, man, and it's got D profiles on it, Now I tried to like expand it a little bit, but basically the meat and potatoes, it's like a Baneblade chassis, 14, 13, 12. Oh, right. Yeah. You think I'm going to get that right?
It's the Ordinatus Minoris Macro Engine.
Yeah, exactly. And you wanted me to read that.
And it's not a Baneblade chassis. The thing has 14 hull points. It's like 2 armored conveyors back to back.
I was getting there. I was saying, okay, you know, the armor facings. But yeah, the 14 hull points, since Paul stole my thunder. Jeez. Sorry. And then the conversion beamer though, like I can't read it very good. I'm looking at it on a phone, so but it starts with D and it looks like it's a 7-inch blast. I'm not sure. Has anybody like got better eyeballs than me? Because I am blind.
This is a little blurry, unfortunately, but we can get the gist of it. I don't know if it's a conversion beamer or if you roll the die every time it fires.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't get that impression because I saw it like broken up in 3.
This looks like a 1 to 3, 4 to 5, and then a 6.
Oh.
But it might have it. Yeah, it could be depending on the range, but it all looks bad. Like everything looks bad. It's like it's D, 8, 6. You know, with AP of like 133 and then like 123. I mean, it's
there's a plethora of words and rules to follow.
Yeah, this thing has 2 pages of rules, which is good.
Yeah.
And I apologize, I cannot make them out, but it is nice to see that they're floating around. And it looks like the rules match the impressiveness of the thing. And it's I'd like to point out that there's 2 different classes of engines here. And one of them has an ignore cover shot.
That's going to hurt.
Yeah.
When you can put out high strength with ignore cover, like high strength low AP with ignore cover, dude, that's how you win games. That's that overwhelming firepower.
It's like it's 72 inches, strength X, which it's got some kind of note here I can't read. AP looks like 1 to me. Ignore cover, pinning, armor bane, primary weapon.
It looks deadly. Now,
pretty much kills you, yeah.
Yeah, the thing about that model, though, that I don't think I like about it is it looks like it's gigormous. Like, you know how you're...
I love it. I don't see anything wrong with it so far.
Oh, okay, well, now I want to hide this beast.
Well, with primary weapons on things, you don't have to worry about them getting shot off as much. I mean, it's only got the 1 gun. And 14 hull points. Armor 14.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere until it gets punched in the throat or in another location.
Yeah. It's getting assaulted. It's getting assaulted. But any assault threat, you have to shoot first. But you put this thing next to a void shield generator.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to do work there.
Or on top of a sky shield.
I don't know if it's going to fit.
You got to specially modify the sky shield. See.
Yeah. That's my thing. Like, if it can't fit on a sky shield, it's too big.
You can just put it behind the sky shield, and then it gets a cover safe from the sky shield.
Yeah, you need something. That's what I'm saying. You know, like it's going to be harder to make this thing a little bit more defensible. Yes, AV-14 is a thing, and that's very tough and sturdy. 14 hull points all day. Throw some Tech Marines behind it. Repair it up. You know, I think it's going to be a very good for 30K. I think it's going to be very good. I'm not sure if it's going to be one of those like 40K approved things or not. I think it's just 30K.
Who knows? We'll know when the experimental rules go up, but it definitely looks like it's going to wreck shop in 30K. Yeah, 40K, you're I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little, a different thing, and we don't even know if it's coming to 40K. It could just be 30K. We're not sure yet, but yeah, the rules definitely.
I don't know if there's anything that is that way.
I'm not sure.
Vehicle. Whatever. No, actually, there are several things. I shouldn't say that. There are like the conveyor that I keep talking about.
Yeah, your train.
Yeah,
the pain train.
It's basically only 30K.
Yeah, so that's gonna weigh in. Like if you're AdMech and you're playing 30K, you're buying this.
I guess, man, this thing is going to be $1,000.
Oh, probably. It looks pretty.
Well, I wouldn't say 1,000. I'd probably say it's $400 or $500.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, you think it's going to cost, because that's what a Warhound is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's bigger. Those conveyors are this big.
Oh, that's...
and it's 2 conveyors with a big old gun on top.
That's true, yeah. So, yeah, you're looking at, 300 plus. Jesus. It's cool looking, though. I'll give it that. It is cool. I think it is cool.
And I'm happy to see, again, that red book coming out with all the the condensed versions of the AdMech stuff because it needs that. That's a very confusing.
Is that only like it's all AdMech in that one book?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't need to buy it.
I need it. I've not gotten it yet. I'm going to get it.
Yeah. I did buy the two. But.
Dean's coming in saying that he's the voice of reason for that Dark Angel command squad. You're right. I had to go recheck it after he said that banner gives you the auto pass hit and run. I'm like, anytime you can
take dice out of the equation,
take the dice out, you're doing better.
Yeah, that's what always been my favorite thing about some armies. It steered me away from like chaos and stuff for a while because I was so tired of the randomness, like constantly having to roll and hope for something. Like I want a USR that's just there. I don't want to have to do anything else extra. I don't want to have to pretend I have it or theorize like what if I do get it. That's why I don't do psychic phase.
Steve's asking if I ever plan on bringing an FTN event to Australia. Yes, it's in the plans.
Yeah,
I'm not even trying to be sarcastic, man. That would be awesome. If I can find a way to, even if I can't be there in body, but if we can find a way to sponsor an event out there, I would love to do that too. Yeah, because I know that a significant portion of the people who listen to us are in Australia, and we got nothing but love for Australian folks. We did a whole segment on a dart tournament that went way south on one of the shows one time.
Yeah, I remember that. Good times. That was a good show.
Yeah, I love the guys down under. They have their spirit about 40K is very similar to our own.
Yeah, and I'm sorry about the prices down there, guys. That's ridiculous.
No. Yeah, hey.
You guys are the true fans.
If it's cheaper for us to buy it here and send it to you, I'll be happy to do that.
Yeah. Wargamers in Australia are the true fans because, boy, are they getting the shaft.
Yeah, Archon's Chaos is asking, says, is there such thing as a theoretical 1++ invulnerable save? I believe there's a way to eventually stack things to where you could get something like that. And as we see things come out in other books, I'm willing to bet that will slip in. But the book does specifically, the rule book states specifically that you cannot have a 1+ save.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like the main rule book is like pretty adamant about that. Nothing can go beyond.
Yeah. Right, but there may be modifiers or things that come into the game that allow you to get bonuses to things, but then the rule book would take precedent over that, where it would still block you from having a 1+.
Yeah. Yeah, like Feel No Pain is a whole different thing because that's not a save. If that's where you're kind of coming from, like because the 1+ Feel No Pain is a thing.
Yeah, that's real. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, but it's so unlikely that it occurs.
Yeah, and it's hard to, once you do get it, it's hard to maintain it.
So. It is. Yeah, once you start losing wounds. I know. It's, to me, Iron Hand's very good, and it's almost like worth trying to get them or to use them. But I would not invest a lot in like going, like banking on your strategy is going to be that 1+ Feel No Pain. Don't do that.
That's like because that's what I do when I was building psychic lists. I think that's why I'm so against it. I'd build like a psychic list and I'd be like, okay, so I'm gonna get this power. I'm gonna get this power. I never got those powers, like ever. Dude, I'm the guy with Bellacore that didn't get the right powers. You know what I'm saying? I got the whole tree.
Yeah, that's rough. God, good old Bellacore. I like that model so much.
I'm going for invisibility. I never get it off though.
Well, you say that with Bellacore, it's like he's not a given. You get all the powers, but then if you don't take things to support him, you only got 3 dice. Yeah.
It's a rough life, man. God bless those Chaos players that are doing well, because I haven't cracked that code yet. I mean, I play well with it, but I don't play like at the level like Pajama Pants is playing and Nanavati and some of those.
Chaos is real fun with the demons and stuff. I mean, you can stack things in your favor.
Yeah. First Earth is a mother effort. Trying to get against like some Zinch guys and golly, man.
I hate the Warstorm table.
Okay, so everybody complains like, oh, the Chaos Demons book isn't that good. Why is it winning events if it's not that good? Like it's winning grand tournaments for God's sakes.
It's a very good book. At this point I guess people are just kind of used to it and comfortable with it, but it has answers for everything.
Yeah. That is like the best all-comers book ever made in the history of, well, maybe Eldar, but
yeah. And as we see more Demonkin books come, it's just going to make it better.
Oh, that Zinch book needs to drop like stat, because I got some rubric that need some love.
And speaking of things coming up, Kelly Wallace brought this up several weeks ago, and I don't know if we ever actually mentioned it on the show, but he mentions me. I get off air and I says, "Well, we got to bring that up," but I a lot of times I forget some of the awesome things we need to bring up. But he went in to say that the Horse Heresy stuff that's going to come out, he believes it's going to be its own standalone rules that are not 30K and not 40K.
I've heard stuff like that. I've heard it could even be Age of Sigmar-y, like in that kind of a thing.
Let me say, I don't care, because it's going to come with the models.
Yeah, I would see. For me, I would hate to have to buy it just for the models. I would hope that it comes with something that's going to be engaging and fun to increase its value. But that's just me. Like Execution Force, that's my jam. I love that freaking game.
Great game. Great game.
Everybody was they were like, oh well, I'll just buy the onesies and twosies here. No, buy it. It's the best value GW's ever released. One, the game itself is fun as heck. I mean, I still play it like at least once or twice a week. I still sit down and play a game of that.
That's pretty cool. I'm glad it's got that replayability. But you know what I was saying, I don't care if it's his own standalone game. And it's like I want this game company to continue to kick out cool models and playable rules. And if they've got to shift their structure to where they put box games out that can sit on retailer shelves and larger box stores, I'm all about it. That's fine. Whatever the business needs to do to survive, which I'm not saying it's in danger. I'm not trying to get apocalyptic or whatever.
No, they're actually doing well.
I'm happy to encourage them to do it.
Yeah, the financials did come out not too long ago. They are doing well. They're turning I think that it was like a 1% loss versus like a 13 or 15% loss like the year prior. So they're picking things up.
Looking up. But we're starting to see all those things that we talked about here on the show well before they happen. With bundle deals and game standalone, like that kind of stuff. And I should say bundle deals. They're not giving you deals. They're marketing new products that sell you things at a better price than if you were to buy them individually.
Yeah.
And they're not giving you a bundle deal. They're selling a different product that they can skew out differently. It looks better on their balance sheets and whatever.
Hey man, and we're reaping the benefit. Dude, okay, so with this 30K box, if it comes out and it's a standalone game, and let's just theorize, say this thing hits Target shelves, because X-Wing is in Target is carrying X-Wing. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you knew that.
They are?
That is awesome, right? So now, if X-Wing is showing that it's going to sell in that market, that's a nationwide market. Why can't we see some Horus Heresy love in there? And that will potentially bring more people into the hobby. They're getting these models. I could go to my own store and pick them up. I don't have to find a GW store or anything like that. That's crazy. I want to see that, because that's when you know that this is going to be here for ever.
Yeah, I think if I had to guess, I would say that this box set coming out is going to be more kind of like a Stratego type. There's parity in both the list with maybe a little bit of variation that you can take for you and another opponent, and then there'll be an ad in there to hey, you want to get deeper into your games? Play the Horus Heresy from Forge World.
Yeah, man, I really hope so. I don't want to vote against you, because last time I did that, you were right. And
you will be wrong.
Hear about it.
Is that?
I really hope so, man. Because we've been accused of being fanboyish and stuff like that. But I mean, so what? We're passionate about something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I am a fanboy, completely and totally, about Blood Angels and Beltane Eldar and AdMech stuff.
Yeah, I love it all, man. I don't even care. I mean, except for Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Chris is.
I'm talking about that. I don't. Yeah, no.
That stuff doesn't exist.
No, the game. I love the movies and the stories.
Yeah, but the books were good. The movies were good. No, I mean, even their models are kind of cool. It's just, to me, it's one of those like limited run things. Because
well, this will be replaced by Horus Heresy, and I can't wait.
Oh man, you keep saying that. I just want to say I don't know, but
yeah, it's happening.
You're just so right. It's not fair.
Yeah. And speaking of Horus Heresy, is that the narrative mission that went up on Bowls recently was written by Chris Morgan.
Yeah,
and we're doing a series of these, and we're going to try to do something every week, if time allowing. That is it takes a scene from a book in one of the Horus Heresy novels, and we give rules to it about how you can replay that mission and possibly change the course of history. During the course of your game.
Dude, that's what you guys are doing with that is so cool. Like you're giving the familiarity of what we know, and you're giving us an option to, forge the narrative into a whole different direction and create these fun like games. Like with Chris's that he just did, dude, the odds are stacked against you if you're on the Blood Angel side. But
in the book, they get trounced. They're basically going to their death, and they know that. But what we've done is made it playable. Yeah, and there's a way for you to succeed. Yeah, as the Blood Angels, to win the day as the Blood Angels.
Like that's going to be one of those games. Like, remember how like Space Hulk, like you lose and lose and lose and lose, and then you finally win, and you're like, oh my god, I'm the greatest player ever. Like that's, I feel like that's what is going to be with this, because I think it's going to be like you're going to take a few missions. And you're going to go at it, and you're going to be like, man, I know I can win this. I know I can win this. And when you do, it's going to be so great. It was very,
figured out a way. You think you got it on paper, that you figured it out, and it didn't quite work out, so you got to try something else.
Yeah. Oh man, like spot on what you guys are doing.
If anybody plays those, please let us know. I'd love to hear how it works out. They are meant to be fun. They are meant to, don't take it too seriously. And what we've done is not gone too crazy with like special. Like we're not writing any necessarily real rules for special characters. We're using point equivalent things that make up their abilities from the book. Like for instance, if a character flies, we pay the points for a jump pack. Yeah. If a character has an invulnerable save, a demonic save, or whatever, we pay the points for a refractor field, or those kind of things. If they have a special sword. Yeah. Anyway, you get the point. Everything is built pointed like it would be if you were buying them in the book. We just put a name on some of the characters if they didn't already have rules for them in the novels, or in the source material. Yeah. But if you want to change them around, change them around. You want to change the deployment zone or the deployment type for the mission, change it around. Like it's complete. It's y'all. We're just putting it out there. What we've done is given structure based on our interpretation of the book.
There's the sandbox. You choose how you want to play in it.
Yeah, and let us know the changes you made. Our version of what we read in those chapters, a few chapters, might not be what you read. And so if you have a different opinion, that's you don't have to make a fake email address and bounce it off New Zealand. You can just say,
right? Like those guys are
say, yo, Paul, I didn't really like how that worked out.
Don't bring a bad rep to New Zealand, man. So much good stuff comes from there.
I'm just saying that was where this dude listed his address from. That was like, why? Come on.
I've got a nuclear personality, man. What if I'd have took offense to that thing and I would have went on a rant about how I don't like New Zealand now?
No, that's why we do due diligence. Yeah. New Zealand is awesome. That's where they filmed Lord of the Rings.
Yes. I did a report on taking Dave and Buster's to New Zealand for a class in college. It was a bad idea. Terrible idea. Horrible.
That's not the way they roll, and I respect it.
Yeah.
Yep. Justin is asking where they're published. Those I did put a link to I'm putting them on Bowls as articles for Bowls. It's something to do. But I did put a link from this past weekend on the Forge Narrative Facebook page. And I think there's a way to make sure that you get all of our posts. We don't spam posts. We don't put a bunch of stuff up there. We put, either interesting or what we consider relevant things up there. And I think there's a way you can I don't know. I need to figure this out, but I think there's a way you can subscribe to the page again, even though you already like the page, to make sure that you see all the content.
Yeah, because a lot of you guys aren't seeing everything. From our perspective, we can see how many people the post saw, like actually hit their feed, and it's not, the numbers don't add up. So we're trying to figure that
even
out.
Even if it's got like 20, 30 likes, sometimes it's only like a handful of people.
Yeah. So we want to be able to make sure that, like we're delivering like content that we feel that you guys will enjoy and stuff like that.
Even if it's just a cool picture. Like I posted up, I found that that like 5-foot Black Templar Space Marine.
Like somebody was hating on that dude. I was like, man.
Oh, that dude, the costume is awesome. The dude
it looked really good.
But I stood up next to him with my youngest son and had my wife take a picture. And so you can really tell the perspective. But the costume looks
5 foot
awesome. Very awesome. But anyway, so fun little things like that. We post that kind of stuff on the Facebook page, and you probably don't see it.
Yeah. And I like to post like really, really, really dumb lists. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't posted a list in a while.
I'm kidding.
I am kidding that you're not kidding, but we're all. I put a doozy or two up there with it.
Yeah. So we're not into like putting out just content just for content's sake. But in this instance, I did link this narrative mission on our Facebook page, or you can get it is under Bowls. You can search for TPM as the author, and that will put up you'll see all like the podcast, and you'll see some of these articles. But they're titled on Bowls as Conflicts of Legend, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to drop the spoiler. The next one I'm going to do is going to be a what if scenario of what if Mortarion turned on Horus.
Oh my goodness!
There's a scene in it was a Vengeful Spirit to where Mortarion basically Horus puts himself in a very compromising position with Mortarion. And it's a little bit of a tense moment.
Yeah, when you started describing this, like my whole head started thinking like the whole heresy changes.
Yeah.
As soon as you said that, and I was like, "Wow, you had me."
So it'll be, and with all these, they're going to be slanted to mimic the way the story actually progresses.
Mm-hmm.
But there will be an opportunity for you to come up with your own story, through the battle.
Yeah. God, if Mortarion would have just stayed like true, golly. That would have been so much better.
We're not trying to rewrite the fluff. We're not saying there's anything wrong in the background. This is just fun things to do.
Yeah. It's for the sake of getting some more dice rolled, and having fun while doing it.
And I'm going to try to make this one more like a kill team mission with 4,000 points. It won't be 200 or 400 points.
That doesn't make any sense.
Because it's only, it's not 4,000, but it'll be like 8 models.
I'm making a kill team mission. It's going to be like 3,500 points or so.
Yeah.
wait a minute. That's like way too many.
Yeah, it's probably going to be 1,600 points or something like that, just with the people that are there.
So spoiler alert, you're bringing beef.
Yeah. And on the next show, we'll do a little bit more of the 40K quiz book. This thing is great. Yeah, this is you can get this. I think it was published in 2006.
Yeah, I believe you.
It's a fun little book. I keep it near one of my chairs, just on an end table, and occasionally I'll break it out and like, oh, don't know the answer to that one. And they're hard questions, but they're all the answers are in the back, so you can make yourself feel better. Like, oh yeah, I knew that one. I just couldn't think of it right then.
I don't know those.
It's fun, but they're fun, and you actually can get some. You got to get in the mindset, because we don't think about. Well, I think about this every day.
I'm a little bit more. I've turned my brain to focusing on the story a little bit more lately. I'm taking a little bit of sabbatical from some, just to let my brain catch up to all these books and stuff like that. So I'm digging out all the codexes that we haven't dug into yet. And I'm reading the fluff sections first, and I'm actually enjoying it. So
that's good.
Well, I started listening to one of the Garrow books. I have one of them.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. So Justin's asking if anybody's going to bring a Heresy or Air Army to the war zone. I do believe that is going to be the case. I'm willing to bet that we will see at least one.
Yeah.
Because we're offering it.
Yeah, Pajama Pants said that he's I think he's trying to bring his World Eaters, and Angron. So
well, you guys convinced Carl to come out with his word bearers with the demon allies.
Yeah, hey, that's what we do.
Yeah. Trying to get through this, and I apologize with us just being me and Justin. It's kind of hard to get to all the questions, and I really apologize for not getting to more of them as they come up.
I got yelled at for looking at them earlier.
I will write some of them down, and we'll get some of them on the show. Yeah. Anyway, I suck at this tonight. I apologize.
I'm not good at it any night, so
yeah, you know.
If I have to read, like my whole brain stops. Like, what are you doing over here? I don't know what's going on. I'm like, I gotta focus. Reading's hard, guys.
It is hard, especially when you're talking and it's on this scrolling. Yeah, whatever. Anyway,
and it moves. Oh.
You think we'd be a lot better at this by now? So with 30K coming out, I'm really enjoying playing it. With these alternate scenarios, and again, this is just something interesting to do. The first one that we did was Ultramarines versus the World Eaters.
Yep.
At the Battle of Armatura, I think is what it's pronounced. Someone recently made a comment about how we don't pronounce anything right anymore. Yeah, look, there's a difference. There's the way that some things I know we say spot on, but then there are some things that we don't because we don't read so well.
Yeah, at all.
But anyway, the next mission is Blood. It's the Charge of the Blood Angels against the Imperial Guard. They're not Imperial Guard, but they're the militia that Horus had assembled to assault Molech.
Yeah,
and the Sons of Horus. And if you've read the book, they break out the Red Angel in that. We had that effect going on in the mission. It's just really interesting. It's just a fun way of playing out these things in the books. And we're going to continue to go through the books. We've got most of them. We read most of them. We talk about a lot of them on air and do these missions. And the next one is going to be still set in Vengeful Spirit, where we do Horus versus Mortarion and their various honor guards. It's going to be cool. It takes place right after that group of people had dealt with something happened. And anyway, if I can get everything, we don't publish anything half-assed. So if I can get it looking good, it's going to go up next week or maybe later on this week. I don't know. I'm very excited to announce we're going to do some more interviews with the Black Library writers coming up soon. I'm really excited about that. And so talk about some of the other projects that they've been working on. They won't be on the live cast, they'll be on the podcast. But still, it's interesting to talk about.
Yeah, those interviews, man, it's really cool to get the insight and stuff like that. You're really getting to pick the brain at that point, which is nice.
I don't try to press them too much about the stuff they can't talk about because I want it to be a good experience for everybody, and I don't want to make them feel like we're kind of digging on ground we're not supposed to. But it is fun to talk to them about some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. This is broken up into different sections. I'm going to read one that we probably know the answer to. How did Magnus the Red escape the death blow of Leman Russ?
Oh, is that to me?
No, it's just to. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
you might know this one.
No, I didn't read Prospero.
No. I'll ask 2 questions, and if they can leave them in the comment section, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I haven't read Prospero Burns yet. Sorry.
Okay. You should read it.
That's where it's from, really right?
It is in Prospero Burns. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's one that I don't know the answer to off the top of my head. What term is often used for troopers of the Cadian Youth Army?
Oh, wow.
If anyone knows that one, post it in the comments. That would be awesome. Justin, we made it through another hour.
Man, already?
Kind of flew fast, right?
Well, by all means.
Yeah. I don't think. Okay. Guys, thank y'all very much for joining us tonight in the chat. I'm coming off this big weekend. I'm a little slow today. I really apologize for that, but I'm glad you guys stuck in with us. Justin, thank you for scheduling this and getting in here.
Yeah, man. I wouldn't miss it. You know what I mean? Like this is fun for us. This is why we like doing it. We get a little interaction. Everybody gets to watch me be a fool.
Yeah. I never get tired of that.
I think my wife does.
Oh,
That's for a whole different topic.
Y'all have a good rest of y'all's night. We're going to be recording this week. If anybody has anything they want us to talk about on the show, please hit us on Facebook or an email. And, it could be a real email address. I promise I don't bite.
Yeah.
Look forward to hearing from y'all. Please register for Warzone Atlanta if you have not already. The missions will be up soon, but you can expect them to be Forge Narrative style missions.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means is they'll be competitive, fun, entertaining, but attainable. Victory will be attainable even if you build a list with some kind of synergy. You don't have to build whatever it is you think the top tier stuff is.
Yeah, I'm pumped, man. These missions are going to be really fun. So I can't wait. In Warzone Atlanta is going to be a great time. So everybody, if you know that you're going to come, schedule it now. Save yourself some money on some tickets and whatnot, and let's have a blast, man.
Yeah, and if you have any questions that you need that you're on the fence about, please email the Warzone Atlanta email address, warzoneatlanta@gmail.com, or send me some messages on Facebook or email through whatever. Be happy to try to address them all.
Yeah, I don't sleep, so send them at all hours.
Good night, everybody.
All right, guys.